TikTok reacts to report of Musk ownership to prevent U.S. ban. TikTok has described a report it could sell its threatened U.S. business to Elon Musk as pure fiction. The short video platform's Chinese owners ByteDance are facing the prospect of TikTok being shut down permanently in America on Sunday. That is when a U.S. government ban, on national security grounds, is due to take effect. But Bloomberg News reported that officials in Beijing, where TikTok's parent firm is based, were considering whether to allow a possible sale to the billionaire ex-owner if the order could not be overturned or delayed. The authorities in China were said to prefer that TikTok's U.S. business remained under ByteDance control. They have always denied having an influence over ByteDance, let alone TikTok, a position that both entities have supported, consistently denying any suggestion of collusion that would represent any kind of threat to U.S. interests. The U.S. Supreme Court has indicated it is minded to accept the Biden administration's ban on the grounds that national security concerns outweigh the rights of TikTok's 170 million U.S. users to free speech. It is not clear when the final ruling will be delivered, but the ban is due to take effect on Sunday, a day before Donald Trump's inauguration. Ahead of the start of his second term in the White House, he has called for the court to push back the deadline to allow for a political resolution. Such a move would not rule out Musk, a political ally, from potentially snapping up TikTok if the impasse cannot be broken. A TikTok spokesperson said in response to the report of talks, "We can't be expected to comment on pure fiction." Other potential buyers are said to include Mr. Trump's former Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin and billionaire businessman Frank McCourt. Eric Morecambe's Trademark glasses fetched $25,000 at auction. A pair of Eric Morecambe's Trademark glasses have fetched $25,000 at an auction. Memorabilia and personal items from the comic's former home in Hertfordshire went up for sale following the death of his widow Joan in March 2024. His glasses were synonymous with his comedic persona, and a pair in imitation tortoiseshell by company Metzler sold alongside his Barling briar pipe and 2 black and white photographs of him with the spectacles. The TV star was known for smoking pipes, and a selection of them were sold in a lot that fetched $1,300. A tailcoat and trousers, writing desk, and Breitling watch were among the other auctioned items previously owned by the comic who formed one half of double act Morecambe and Wise. The auction house offered his belongings in 700 lots, more than 40 years after Morecambe died of a heart attack aged 58 in 1984. Charles Hanson, of Hanson Auctioneers, said, "We were thrilled with the extraordinary results achieved at this auction. Eric Morecambe's legacy lives on in the hearts of millions, and the prices reflect not only the quality and uniqueness of the items but also the deep affection fans continue to hold for him. It's been an incredible 2 days." Morecambe was made an OB in 1976, and his medal, awarded by the late Queen Elizabeth II, sold for $13,000, which was $9,700 above its highest estimate. A Society of Film and Television Arts Award for Best Light Entertainment Performance, which went to Morecambe and Wise in 1970, also sold for $5,400. An oil-on-canvas painting by royal portrait artist Richard Stone depicting Morecambe sitting down smoking a cigar sold for $18,000. And a version of his ventriloquist dummy Charlie, which he took to America to appear on The Ed Sullivan Show, sold for $7,500. Musk sued over buying Twitter shares at artificially low prices by U.S. finance regulator. Elon Musk is being sued for failing to disclose his purchase of more than 5% of Twitter stock in a timely fashion. The world's richest man bought the stock in March 2022, and the complaint by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) said the delay allowed him to continue buying Twitter stock at artificially low prices. In papers filed in Washington, D.C. federal court, the SEC said the move allowed Mr. Musk to underpay by at least $150 million. The commission wants Mr. Musk to pay a civil fine and give up profits he was not entitled to. In response to the lawsuit, a lawyer for the multi-billionaire said, "Mr. Musk has done nothing wrong and everyone sees this sham for what it is." An SEC rule requires investors to disclose within 10 calendar days when they cross a 5% ownership threshold. The SEC said Mr. Musk did not disclose his state until April 4, 2022, 11 days after the deadline, by which point he owned more than 9% of Twitter's shares. Twitter's share price rose by more than 27% following Mr. Musk's disclosure, the SEC added. Mr. Musk later purchased Twitter for $44 billion in October 2022 and renamed the social media site X. Since the election of Donald Trump, Mr. Musk has been put in charge of leading a newly created Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, alongside former Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. The president-elect said the department would work to reduce government bureaucracy, slash excess regulations, cut wasteful expenditures, and restructure federal agencies. World's richest men Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos heading for space showdown. The two richest people on the planet are heading for a showdown in space. Elon Musk versus Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. They both launched prototype rockets on the same day, a rivalry with billions of dollars at stake. SpaceX's Starship is fueled by Musk's extraordinary appetite for risk. He innovates through failure, and the seventh test flight didn't go entirely to plan. Contact was lost with the upper part of the rocket 8 minutes into the flight, and engineers will be studying the data to work out why. But the booster, which had already separated, successfully returned to base. On the last test flight, it ditched in the sea after a technical glitch. This time it descended at supersonic speed, slowed to hang in midair, and was safely grabbed by chopstick arms on the launch tower. It's not just for show. Reusable rockets are the key to driving down launch costs. Bezos will also use rocket parts multiple times. His company, Blue Origin, succeeded in reaching orbit with its own heavy-lift rocket, New Glenn, at the first attempt. That's impressive, but plans to land the booster stage on a ship in the Atlantic didn't work out. Like Starship, it's a work in progress. On paper, Musk has already won the space race with his rival. Last year, his rockets accounted for half of all launches worldwide. But Bezos will be sanguine. He's in this for the long game. Not only will New Glenn launch his constellation of broadband satellites to compete with Musk's Starlink, he already has defense contracts. And like Musk, he has contracts with NASA to take crew and cargo to the moon. We are entering a new era of space exploration. And the tech brothers that made their fortunes on Earth are preparing for new opportunities in the stars. Pakistan Airlines ad accused of evoking 9/11 imagery. Is this an advertisement or threat? Pakistan's national airline has been criticized for an advert that shows a plane flying towards the Eiffel Tower, with some saying it bears similarities to imagery of the 9/11 terror attacks. The advert, which was posted on the official X account of Pakistan International Airlines, PIA, on January 10, shows the plane heading towards the French landmark alongside the words "Paris, we're coming today." It was meant to mark the return of direct flights to Europe after a 4-year ban over safety standards was lifted. But some on social media said the ad was reminiscent of imagery of the 9/11 terror attacks in the US, when hijacked planes crashed into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York and the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. One user wrote, "Is this an advertisement or threat?" while another said, "Who thought this ad was a good idea?" Omar Qureshi, a former media advisor to Pakistani politician Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, also questioned the thinking behind the ad, saying he was truly speechless. Did the idiot who designed this graphic not see a PIA plane heading for the Eiffel Tower? one of Europe's iconic landmarks, he wrote. Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has now ordered an inquiry to determine how the controversial advert was allowed to be published, according to local media. The first flight from Islamabad to Paris since 2020 was fully booked with more than 300 passengers on board, PIA said. Restrictions on PIA flights to Europe were imposed in 2020 by the European Union's Aviation Safety Agency after 97 people died when a PIA plane crashed in Karachi in southern Pakistan. Then Aviation Minister Ghulam Sarwar Khan said an investigation into the crash found that nearly a third of Pakistani pilots had cheated on their pilots' exams. A government probe later concluded the crash was caused by pilot error. Highly dangerous new species of spider discovered in Australia. A larger and more venomous species of one of the world's deadliest spiders has been confirmed by Australian scientists. Nicknamed Big Boy, it can grow up to 3.54 inches compared with 1.97 inches for the more common Sydney funnel web. This particular spider is a lot larger, its venom glands are a lot larger and its fangs are a lot longer. I would not recommend touching them, that's for sure. They do give copious amounts of venom, said spider expert Kane Christensen. Sydney funnel webs are known for their fast-acting and highly toxic venom, but luckily the same anti-venom is effective on bites from the new species. Mr. Christensen first discovered Big Boy in the early 2000s, near Newcastle, 105 miles north of Sydney, and it's been officially named Atrax christenseni in his honor. Sometimes you might find them in a garage or in a bedroom or somewhere in the house where they might have wandered in during the night, said Mr. Christensen, the former head of spiders at the Australian Reptile Park. Scientists from the Australian Museum, Flinders University and Germany's Leibniz Institute confirmed on Monday that Big Boy would be classed as a separate species of funnel web. Sydney funnel webs are found in eastern Australia, within around 100 miles of the city, and are most active from November to April when the more deadly male ventures out at night looking for mates.